So we got some very interesting news this past day, and basically Nintendo decided to drop something that was definitely not going to be on my bingo card for a while, but at last, very good news. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team is coming to Nintendo Switch next week. Now, at the surface level, it doesn't seem much. Nintendo is just trying to bring back arcade games back onto Nintendo Switch. But for Pokemon fans, it's a lot more interesting. Before we dive into it, please like and subscribe. That's the best way to support me for free. Now let's get right into it. So Nintendo America decided to drop this bombastic tweet of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon being released for Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion members on August 9th, which is next week. Now, it kind of seems odd to drop something like this considering we already have a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game specifically for Nintendo Switch. And by the way, I will say this is probably the best Pokemon game, including the mainline series games, on Nintendo Switch. You can fight me all you want, but the way the game was built and definitely paid a really good homage to the previous games that paved the way for Mystery Dungeon universe, I say it's a 10 out of 10, almost a 10 out of 10. Yes, it definitely has way more valuable criticism than Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet, which kind of sad, and especially that this game benefited a lot prior to it dropping from essentially the end of the world. The pandemic happened, and this game was about released a month before everything got shut down. So this was the perfect stay-at-home game, of course, until Animal Crossing came along. But regardless, the reason why I'm saying that the release of Red Rescue Team is very valuable and very promising for a lot of Pokemon fans is perhaps they're finally testing the waters to see if they can pave the way to releasing other Pokemon Game Boy Advance games. If the Nintendo 3DS was able to give us Gold, Silver, and Crystal, then I can only imagine what Nintendo Switch can give us when they release the Game Boy Advance games. Leaf Green, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire Red. There's also Pokemon Pinball that was released for the Game Boy Advance. There's a lot of possibilities out there. And I feel like the Switch, if you want to capitalize on it, especially with the rumored Switch 2 coming out next year, it's best to start off the Switch 2 era with a bang to this. Do I personally believe they're going to release these games on the current Nintendo Switch system? Probably not, due to the fact that one, Pokemon is starting to ramp up its release for Pokemon Legends Z to A, and you don't want to kill any momentum for that. And two, the Nintendo Switch is very old. It's about to be, or if not, 7 years already. Next year it's going to be 8 years, and around that time is where a lot of game systems tend to phase out and go on to the next cycle. And while I personally want to have these games on Nintendo Switch because of its accessibility and the market value of these games are very crazy, I think it's better to announce these games for the Switch 2 era. That way you can start off with a bang. Now, if you are an old head and you like to collect Pokemon games from the Game Boy Advance era, you've seen those prices of these games. An Emerald. Yes, this Emerald right here. If you want it mint, like this picture showing right here without any of the packaging, it's about $250. If you thought Nintendo DS games were crazy, Pokemon Advance cartridges are even crazier. I mean, to find any of these in pristine condition is one thing, but to find them in actual packaging is just otherworldly, and you should definitely keep them for life. They might cost you a pretty coin. But I think, the release of this game next week is just a telltale sign that maybe something good is about to happen. And maybe, hopefully, one day we get to finally see more Pokemon fans, especially those from the newer communities, take a little path down memory lane to see why Pokemon is such a juggernaut that it is today. And by releasing those games, these older cartridges, the older archaic systems that were played with these games can definitely get a lot more appreciative. So let me know what you guys think about this. I think this is pretty big news. It's your boy Franklin signing out. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Peace.